Hi, welcome to our top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis video for July 16, 2019. This is Tuesday in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday. And today I'm going to talk about these 10 stocks. After giving you my technical analysis, I will also walk you through on what I see on the trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts of these 10 stocks. By the end of the discussion, I'm going to give you my overall sentiment and recommendations. And if you have some follow-up questions, please ask in our private clients forum. And I'd like to remind everyone that just in case these 10 stocks begin at a price lower or higher than their dominant range, it's better that you ask in our private clients forum for their latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts. Lastly, this discussion is about short-term trading purposes. New subscribers are highly encouraged to take the time to read with understanding the quick start guide. Okay, let's begin with BPI. BPI closed today at 90 pesos per share. It broke above its midterm resistance at 85.7, making that midterm resistance as its immediate support now. The immediate resistance is at 95 pesos per share. So there's an interesting thing here on the net foreign graph. They registered a 1.2 billion. Take note, that's billion, not million. So 1.2 billion pesos worth of net foreign buying today. They actually bought 1.6 billion pesos worth of shares and sold about 400 million. And the net foreign, that's how the net foreign became 1.2 billion today. Look at this volume bar here. It's so high, right? So the 10 SMA and MACD combo, the 10 MACD is valid. Three of our fantastic four signals are present. The upward momentum is very strong. The risk level of BPI remains in the low risk level. On the other hand, I'd like to remind you that RSI is about to touch, just 1 point away from touching the classical overbought level. So if you have had BPI, it's all the more that you should strictly monitor the price movement by the second. You should be on top of your trailing stop loss at any moment from now. Those uh, traders who, like you, managed to enter a new position at an earlier period might entertain the idea of profit taking at any moment from now. So be vigilant. Okay. What else? Let's take a look at the BPI's trade and volume distribution and the true market sentiment charts. So give me a few seconds here while I pull up these two charts. So this is our trade and volume distribution. The dominant range is between 89.75 all the way to 90 pesos per share. And this completes the Fantastic Four signals. So we got several bullish signals all over BPI charts. And let's take a look at the true market sentiment chart. Our true market sentiment is bearish. Why? Because 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount and 3 of the top 10 brokers have a higher buying average than selling average. So what does that mean? This means that some members of the top 10 brokers list are in an were in an eavesdropping mode on BPI, particularly on the latter part of trading in the afternoon. So with this, it's all the more that you should really have to monitor the price movement of BPI by the second tomorrow until Thursday, including Friday. Uh, that's in connection also with the position of RSI closing up close enough to the classical overbought level of BPI. Okay, so if you are planning to enter a new position, you have to consider those things first. Those two things that I have mentioned, aside from calculating your reward to risk ratio. Now, for those of you who have had BPI since an earlier period, it's a lot easier for you to decide to top up because you already managed to enter at a good position, relatively speaking. So, if you're going to do a top up, or if you will pursue your plan of doing a test buy, assuming you are satisfied with your reward to risk ratio, you have to position it strategically and realistically within the dominant range that I have shown you a few seconds ago. I am bullish on BPI. It's interesting tomorrow what the foreign investors will do on Wednesday's trading. So there you go for BPI. So next one is VLL. Okay, let me pull up these two charts first. Okay, VLL, it closed today at 7.79. Support is at 7 pesos per share. Resistance is at 8 pesos per share. The 10 MACD is present. Three of the four signals are also present. The upward momentum is already very strong. The risk level of VLL is low. RSI, it's already trading inside the classical overbought level. So, alert. Let me speak to those who have had VLL for a while already. You should also monitor VLL up close in an up close manner tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay? It's already trading inside the classical overbought level. It's either 7.8 or 8 pesos per share will be translated as a profit taking area for those who have had VLL just like you. Foreign investors registered a how much? 21.2 million pesos net foreign buying today. So let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution with respect to its closing price of 7.79. Our or its dominant range is between 7.63 all the way to 7.79. It's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. The Fantastic Four signals are present. Just in case VLL starts at a price lower than 7.63, I highly recommend that you monitor it between 7.42 all the way to 7.5. If and when it starts at a price lower than 7.42 or higher than 7.79, I highly recommend that you request for VLL's latest TVD and TMS charts in our private clients forum. The true market sentiment chart of VLL is bearish. 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, whereas only 2 of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. So there was some kind of some risk averse moves from some of the members of the top 10 brokers today as well on VLL. Again, partly it could be because RSI is already trading inside the classical overbought level. So they are really watching each other's moves, trying to catch if someone is willing to buy at a significant price higher than its prevailing price, closer to their resistance level. So most of them are in a watch and see mode also. Nonetheless, my overall sentiment for VLL is bullish. If you have had VLL, you still have some data-driven reasons to top up within the dominant range that I have mentioned. If you are about to enter a new position, you have to consider the fact that the last candlestick of VLL is already a lot closer to its resistance than to its support level. And you know what that means. That means you have a bigger potential loss than your bigger potential risk than your potential reward at this point. Should it break above the resistance at 8 pesos per share, the next resistance would be in confluence with the 61.8% Fibonacci, which is at 9.8. You have 9.13, 9.47 as precursors to 9.82. Okay, so there you go. I'm still bullish on VLL, however. Okay, after VLL, we have SCC. Give me a few seconds while I pull up the trade and volume distribution and the true market sentiments chart, true market sentiment charts of Semirara. Semirara closed today at 23.95. Support is at 19.66. Resistance is at 24.5. It's already a lot closer to its resistance than to its support level. The 10 MACD combo is present. MACD crossed above the signal line today. That's a golden cross. Three of the 4 point. Let's check if the fantastic four signals are all present. But for now, I would say that the upward momentum is not yet very strong. I think we will get there once the price breaks above 24.5. Nonetheless, the positive DMI is increasing its distance above the negative DMI. It's actually a bullish divergence between the positive and the negative DMIs, and that's a bullish signal for me. The risk level of Semirara is low. RSI is still quite distant from the classical overbought level. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 3.91 million pesos today. Looking at the trade and volume distribution chart of Semirara, I would say that the fantastic four signals are all present. The dominant range, which is 23.5, between 23.5 to 23.95, is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. The true market sentiment chart of Semirara says that it's a bearish signal. Why? 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, whereas only 3 of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. So now, if you're planning to enter a new position, I suggest that you do it conservatively within the dominant range. Number one, it's already closer. What are the reasons? Number one, it's already closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Even though RSI is still quite distant from the classical overbought level, you know that sometimes traders translate a resistance area as a selling point. So you don't want to, get wiped out of the game too early by, being in a hurry in entering a new position. So, but if you choose to enter a new position instead of buying on breakout, I suggest that you do it conservatively within the dominant range that I have mentioned. If you have had Semirara, then it's a lot easier for you to decide to add more shares. Just make sure that you have the time to monitor the price movement of Semirara in any of these 10 stocks, especially if you're trading them. You should have the time to monitor them by the second. Okay, especially that we don't have a trailing stop loss feature in place yet. Okay, so there you go for Semirara. Overall, my overall sentiment is bullish on this particular stock. Okay, so after Semirara, we have PHA. Okay, I'm currently pulling up the TVD and TMS charts of PHA. PHA closed today at 0.87, support is at 0.78, resistance, it's actually a midterm resistance at 0. At 1 peso per share, but the major resistance is at 1.25. Okay, the 10 MACD combo is not yet present. We have to see another green candlestick, preferably above 0.87 for the candlestick to move higher than its 10-day simple moving average, and hopefully for the MACD to cross above the signal line. But we have to see a lot taller green candlestick tomorrow, or any day within this week, for us to see a golden cross, for us to see MACD cross above the signal line, and for the 10 MACD combo to be validated. The upward momentum is not yet very strong. The risk level is moderate. RSI is playing inside the neutral territory. Foreign investors registered an insignificant amount, a net foreign buying worth 162,000 pesos. Thousand, not million, okay? So let's verify if the fantastic four signals are all present on PHA's chart. And I have verified that they are. The dominant range is between 0.83 to 0.87. It's a lot closer to the intraday high than the intraday low, obviously. True market sentiment chart of PHA gives us a bullish sentiment. Five of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. Also, 7 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. For me, this means that the ascent in price is still more likely to continue towards 1 peso per share. Okay, so make sure that if you're going to top up, do it within that dominant range and always be on top of your trailing stop loss. For those of you who have had PHA, and if you're asking if it's okay to add more shares, then you can go ahead, you can top up also. Okay, make sure that you do an upward adjustment on your trailing stop loss every time PHA registers a price higher than its prevailing price. So after PHA, we move on to Pepsi, PIP. So I'm going to pull up the TVD and TMS charts of PIP also now. Pepsi closed today at 1.85, support is at 1.55, resistance is at 1.95. The upward momentum is still very strong for Pepsi. The risk level is already high. RSI is approaching the classical overbought level. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth half a million pesos. The 10 SMACD combo is not yet valid because MACD is still trading below the signal line, and I am not seeing a formation of a bullish convergence between the MACD and the signal line. With that, we have to see Pepsi breaking above 1.95, the resistance, for MACD to cross above the signal line, and for the 10 SMA MACD combo to become revalidated, to be revalidated. Okay, let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution chart of PIP to check if the fantastic four signals are present, and they are. The dominant range is between 1.81 all the way to 1.87, 1.81 to 1.87. That's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. The true market sentiment chart of Pepsi tells us that we got a bullish sentiment. 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. 5 of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. My overall sentiment for PIP is bullish. If you can go ahead and add more shares, you can top up. However, if you are planning to enter a new position, please do consider the fact that the last candlestick of PIP is already a lot closer to its resistance than to its support level. Just in case you're curious about the next resistance, should it break above 1.95, the next resistance is somewhere near 2.4 already. Okay, so there you go for PIP. Next, we are now on the top 5 losers. Number 1 in the list is Ayala Land. So let me pull up the 2 charts of Ali. Ayala Land closed today at 51.8. Support is at 49.5. Resistance is at 53.75. So it registered a red candlestick even before it reaches the classical overbought level. Well, actually, it was still quite it is still quite distant from the classical overbought level. The upward momentum is still strong, however. The risk level is low as well. The 10 SMACD combo is already invalidated. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 52 million pesos today. So I think that was the one that that inspired other traders to lock in profits on Ayala Land. Well, other than that, maybe they translated already the resistance at 53.75 as a profit-taking level. For a stock that has been in an upward direction for since last year, since the last quarter of last year, uh, this is it's still good for it to register some technical corrections from time to time. Those are needed for the stock to get a breather, so to say, and sometimes that's needed for the stock to regather its upward momentum, you know hoping that it would continue its ascent in price. So just in case it will rebound from 51.81 or 51.8 towards the resistance at 53.74, and just in case it breaks above that resistance, the next resistance level would be at 63.75, which is in confluence with the 61.8% extension of the up Fibonacci. But of course, before it touches 63.75, it has to break above 59.8 and 61.8. Those are the 38.2% and 50% extensions of the up Fibonacci, respectively. Okay, let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution chart of Ayala Land. With respect to its closing price of 51.8, I would choose 51.8 to 52.35 as the dominant range, and that's closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Just in case Ayala Land starts at a price higher than 52.35 on Wednesday, I suggest that you monitor the price movement between 52.85 to 53.5. If and when Ayala Land starts at a price lower than 51.8 or higher than 53.5, by all means, please ask for the latest TVD and TMS charts in our private clients forum. The true market sentiment chart of Ayala Land is bearish. 4 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, but only three of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. If you are planning to enter a new position, I would suggest that you postpone that plan for the meantime. Reconsider that once the fantastic first signals become present. If you would like to ask if it's okay to top up, especially if the price is still trading above your trailing stop loss, I would suggest also that you wait for those fantastic first signals to become present again before you top up. So just hold your position if it's still trading above your trailing stop loss, but do not top up yet. Okay? So after Ayala Land, we have BDO. We have lots of index stocks that move today. Okay, so BDO. BDO closed today at 146.20. Resistance is at 157.2. Support is at 140.80. Okay, so now just in case it breaks above 157.2, the next resistance will then be waiting near 166 pesos per share. The three simple moving averages are still perfectly aligned in a bullish formation. The 10 SMACD combo is still present despite this red candlestick today. The upward momentum is not yet very strong. It's 2 points shy from registering a strong upward momentum. The ADX is only 23 points at this time. Historical volatility is at 44%, and that's a low risk level for BDO. RSI is already bent towards the bottom after touching the classical overbought level last Monday at 154 pesos per share. Okay, we can say that today's profit taking was inspired by the RSI touching the classical overbought level. We can say that technically speaking. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 30 million pesos today. And last Monday, take note that they registered a net foreign buying worth 231 million pesos. Do I say that they already vomited what they bought for the past few weeks? No, they haven't yet. You can see by the size of the volume today compared to the size of the volumes in the last few, in the recent weeks. So that's for video. Let's take a look at the TVD chart. The dominant range is between 151.6. Let me correct that. That's between 151.8 to 152.5. 152.8 to 152.5. But with respect to the closing price of 146.2, I am going to cite 146.2 to 148.2 as the dominant range, which is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Now, just in case BDO starts on Wednesday at a price higher than 148.2, I suggest that you monitor the price. No, not monitor, but what I'm suggesting is that it might re-enter the range between 151.6 to 152.6 if and when it starts at a price higher than 148.2 tomorrow morning. Okay. Anyhow, if in case it starts at a price lower or higher than these two ranges that I have mentioned, you must ask for the latest TVD and TMS charts in our private clients forum. BDO's true market sentiment is bearish. Why? Because only 3 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, while 5 of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. My overall sentiment for BDO is still bullish in the short term, but if you're asking if it's okay now to enter a new position, I will say no. You have to wait for the appearance of the fantastic four signals at least. Same advice for those who are asking if they can top up. If it's still trading above your trailing stop loss, just hold your position but don't top up yet unless the fantastic four signals appear. Okay? So after BDO, we got MPI. So I'm pulling up the two charts of MPI also. Okay, MPI closed today at 4.67. Support is at 4.56. Resistance is near 5.10. If it breaks below 4.56, 4.14 is waiting as the next support level. The 10 MACD has already been invalidated. The price is already moving below the 10 SMA, and MACD is also trading below the signal line. RSI is already busy pointing towards the southward direction. It's already half past the neutral level. It's a lot closer now to its classical oversold level. And there's also a formation of a bearish convergence between the positive and the negative DMI. The historical volatility of MPI, however, gives MPI a low risk level. However, this doesn't mean that it's okay to buy MPI just because it got a low risk level. No. Yes, it has a low risk level, but you have to wait for the appearance or validation of the 10 MACD combo and the appearance of the fantastic four signals before you entertain the idea of doing a test buy or even topping up. If MPI is still trading above your trading stop loss, please do not top up yet. Hold your position. Do I see a data-driven reason for you to preempt your trailing stop loss? No, I don't yet. I don't see that yet. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 33 million pesos today. MPI's trade and volume distribution chart shows that the dominant range is between 4.67 to 4.8. It's almost like all of the fluctuations of MPI today. But that's it. It's a lot closer to the intraday low than the intraday high because of this outstanding volume that was registered at the intraday low. The true market sentiment chart of MPI tells us that it was a bearish day today. Four of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, whereas six of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. Okay, so I've given you my advice already if you have had MPI and if you're asking if you can top up. I've also given you my advice for those who are planning to enter a new position. So not yet. For both, don't top up yet, don't enter a new position yet. Okay? Okay, next after MPI we have Megaworld. Okay. Megaworld closed today at 6.29. Support is at 5.86, but there's a midterm support at 6.15. Now, if Mega World will rebound, the resistance that we're looking at is near 7.3, followed by 7.56, followed by 7.84. Those are the 38.2%, 50%, and 61.8% extensions, respectively, of our up Fibonacci. The 10 SMACD 10 SMACD has already been, let's see, let's double check. Well, not yet. The 10 SMACD combo is still alive, it's still present, it's still active. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 20 million pesos today. Some of them liked the dip. The upward momentum is still very strong. Historical volatility is still puts Megaworld at a low risk level. RSI is still far from the classical overbought level. So the trade and volume distribution chart shows that today's dominant range is between 6.29 to 6.36. Just in case Megaworld begins at a price higher than 6.36, you have to monitor the price between 6.45 to 6.49. That's another dominant range. Okay. The true market sentiment chart of Megaworld is bearish. Why? Because six of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, only four of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. So if you have had Megaworld, I suggest that you hold your position. Don't top up yet. Well, if it's trading above your trailing stop loss, of course. If you are planning to enter a new position, I suggest that you postpone that plan until the Fantastic Four signals become present. Okay? Monitor it on Wednesday. So last in our list, we have Globe. Okay, I'm pulling up the TVD and the TMS charts of Globe. Globe closed today at 2,140. It broke below its support, the previous support at 2,153. The acting support now is at 1,852. Actually, we can cite 2,000 pesos per share as a midterm support, as a precursor to 1,852. Yeah, as a precursor to 1,852. So now, here's the thing. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 18 million pesos today. Looking at the size of today's red volume, it seems that Globe investors were not yet that convinced to be alarmed and do a massive selling on Globe. So if Globe is in your portfolio and if it's trading above your trailing stop loss, I would say that there's no need to be alarmed yet because many of these investors are still holding onto their position. How did I know? Because if they were alarmed today, we should be seeing a tall red volume bar that engulfs at least all of yesterday's daily volume bars. The risk level of Globe is low. RSI is playing inside the neutral territory. The 10 MACD combo is absent. It's absent. So if Globe is still trading above your trailing stop loss, just hold your position but don't top up yet. Those who are asking if they can enter a new position, no, not yet also. At least wait for the Fantastic Four signals to reappear. So here, the trade and volume distribution chart of Globe tells us that the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Take note that the closing price of 2,140 is also its intraday low today. Okay, 2,140. It's still more likely for the price to uh, test a range lower than 2,140 on Wednesday. So park all of those plans to top up and those plans to enter a new position. Not yet. Not yet. The true market sentiment chart is bearish. While 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, only 4 of them registered a higher buying average than selling average. I know some of them bought the dips, but you are all better off waiting for the appearance of the Fantastic Four signals so you could catch a cheaper, a better price than 2,140 just in case it continues to uh, dive below that price level. Okay, so you've heard my technical analysis and recommendations for these 10 stocks. If you have follow-up questions, make sure that you ask in our private clients forum. And for the Davao-based traders and investors, I'll see you again on July 27th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Hotel Uno in Davao City. So we can discuss the evergreen strategy in trading the Philippine stock market. Okay, if you are subscribed for 1 year, know that you can buy your ticket at 50% off. So just go to seminars on our website and then click the page for Davao, or you can go ahead and type in equalis.com forward slash and then type in Davao. Okay, so again, my name is JC De Guzman, and may you have a profitable and disciplined trading on Wednesday and for the rest of the week. Bye for now.